Today we're talking about 1993. This is the Pauly Shore era of dog shit movies. And that's one of them. is
From Hollywood Pictures, it was a quiet, peaceful town where nothing ever changed.
Middle America.
Until a stranger from the city arrived.
You distract him, I'm gonna hit him over the head with a shovel.
But once they got to know him,
Can I call you Dad?
their lives would never be the same.
It's a miracle!
Son-in-law.
Go with it, man. Just do it. Oh, yeah, 747.
Rated PG-13. Sneak preview Sunday, June 20th. Check newspaper for showtimes.
Before I don't want to criticize the movie individually, like just saying, because there's no point in having a 20 to 30 minute conversation if I just open with, this movie fucking sucks. I don't understand the Pauly Shore run from like 1990 to like 95. I don't understand Pauly Shore, actually.
I mean, this was not the start of it, but this was in the prime of it, where like every year there was like coming out with a new Pauly Shore movie.
And if people thought that the Adam Sandler like late 90s run of movies was bad and dumb,
You are stupid. You are stupid.
this is like a whole nother level. And also Adam Sandler was beloved. People liked him on Saturday Night Live, and he was like a fun, like cute dude who like everyone enjoyed his personality. Pauly Shore is just, who's coming out to see these movies? We saw, as a family, saw pretty much every Sandler movie in theaters when they came out.
Yeah.
Late 90s into early 2000s, just because it was a Sandler movie. And they're going to get panned critically, whatever. But where's the Pauly Shore contingent going out to see Son-in-Law and In the Army Now?
Well, I didn't go to see them all in the theaters, but I watched them repeatedly on VHS. All of them. The entire.
And I know
Pauly
other
Shore
people who do
catalog.
the same thing, yeah.
I mean, of course, you know, his how he got famous was his mom owned the comedy store in LA, and you know, he did stand up, and I've heard some of his albums. They're not great, they're not bad, but they're, you know, whatever. But there's something about these movies that, like,
Best Picture.
you know, they're dumb going in. It's not high cinema, and it's not quite stoner comedy, but it's not like a regular comedy, so it's kind of like in between. It kind of like skirts the line of all of that, and you just kind of go in like to turn your brain off.
And there's a lot of movies like that. I went into this turning my brain off and still just not. It's like beyond that for me.
And
I also just find him so grating.
I mean, yes, he is very binary of you like him, you don't like him.
So you like him.
Yes.
I don't get it. I really don't.
I mean, I like him in these movies. So like these movies of the 90s, and I think it probably is just a nostalgia thing for me.
Yeah.
Because like 1993, I was in 6th grade in 93. The humor that I had then obviously is different than now.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
It's a very adolescent humor. And so that fit with these movies, all of these movies. Encino Man, Biodome, Son-in-Law, like all of the Pauly Shore catalog fits with that type of humor.
And I guess for me, it's the introduction to it was my brother loved the movie In the Army Now.
Best Picture.
Pauly Shore, where
Yeah.
he lists in the army for some reason. I don't even remember the plot. But
It was basically Stripes, but not Stripes.
yeah, it's kind of, actually. And I think you were saying off camera how your kids are picking the same movies over and over again.
Yeah.
Anytime I got to pick a movie, I would pick one of A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi. Always. And in hindsight, I apologize to my family because it's very stupid that I picked the same movies over and over again. And I could tell the moment they were getting frustrated with it. And I feel really bad about that. It's guilt that I carry, deep Catholic guilt. My therapist hears about it all the time. But my brother loved the movie In the Army Now, and we watched this probably 20 times. And I remember thinking this movie's stupid. I think I liked it at first, and gradually, maybe just because my brother was picking, we're gonna watch a Pauly Shore movie all the time.
Yeah.
I started to hate it, and it was just very stupid to me. And I don't even know if it was like the script or the jokes or anything, because I was too young to even have a thought about it. But it was his voice and his persona.
Yeah.
Just got at me. So I think it's my introduction to him was, I hate this guy. So now I watched this movie and I'm like, I don't get him off my screen.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna say, I think this movie is probably the most milquetoast of his movies.
Okay, I was gonna say it makes no sense.
I mean,
that kind of tracks with that.
I mean, the plot of it is, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, and when you think about like college and college life and making friends with people and things like that, and small town America, in this case, small town South Dakota, right, where she anticipates that her long-term boyfriend is going to ask her to marry him because he did not go to college. He stayed in town, working in town, right? So, like, he's ready to get married. He wants to marry her, and she's not ready for that because she's gone out to the big city and has now seen...
She went to UCLA, or did that not say?
I don't...
It's LA, right?
It's LA. I don't remember what the school is supposed to be. I did a nondescript school in LA. The plot line is fine.
This is fine.
Like, the jokes are fine. Like, it's okay. Like, but it's not, and he is not, with the exception of a couple of scenes, particularly grating.
Best picture.
I think the scenes that could be taken as him being grating are by design. Like, he's doing that
I get it.
with a specific, there's a specific reason that goes to the movie.
Because it's all part of the plan.
I'm not saying that this movie is, you know, again, high cinema or anything like that.
Best picture.
But again, it's probably for me, it's just nostalgia. Is like I didn't watch it nearly, you know, like your brother was watching in the Army now. I was not watching these movies nearly to that level. But I was watching them, like I have seen them probably all his entire catalog. I've probably seen about a dozen times.
What the hell?
Because of, like, again, my age and like the humor of the movies at that time, like Biodome.
Yeah, our friend Remo loves the movie Biodome. Actually, yeah. And I was like, it's a Pauly Shore movie. How could you like that?
Because there's something, I don't know. It's stupid. You know, it's stupid, but like. It's fun.
No, it makes total sense because I was comparing it to Sandler. The Sandler movies are much better, but they're not good and they got worse over time. Like each one that came out, like Wedding Singer and Happy Gilmore are better than Big Daddy and Anger Management.
Yeah.
And I would see those all the time. I'll rewatch them sometimes, and they're not good movies. But for me, that's my coming of age. Like you said you were in 6th grade when this movie came out. When I was in 6th grade, that's when like. I think Anger Management might have come out there then. That's a bad movie. Jack Nicholson's probably the worst movie he's been in. But I'll watch it if it's on TV.
I think I saw that one in the theaters.
I did too. It's not good. But I'll gravitate toward it because I like Sandler and that's like my humor for that era. I think it might just be a generational thing or like nostalgia is very powerful.
Yeah. This movie in particular, though, is... like, it has some elements to it that have kind of bred other elements.
Yes, science!
So, like, this is the start of movies where you have, like, a party animal guy in college that maybe is a little bit older, who's holding on to college. Like, in this, he plays a guy who's majored in everything. Karate, he's majored in whatever. This started kind of a trend. I think the very next year was PCU, which is another movie that we should do, with Jeremy Piven, awful person, where he plays a guy who's been in college, it seems like, for 15 years. And then Van Wilder, like, came out probably about 10 years after this.
2000, I think.
Where it's the same thing. Although that is based on a true story with Bert Kreischer. Funny enough, he wrote a script and they didn't take that script, but they took the National Lampoon script, and so he was going to sue, but didn't end up suing because his manager told him there are two types of people in this world, people who work and people who sue, so...
Objection!
Which do you want to be? And so he decided, I want to work. And, well, look at him now, he's all over the place.
Right.
His movie that just came out that's based on his stand-up...
With Mark Hamill.
With Mark Hamill.
I think you associate this with that type of humor because I associate probably, I think I might have said this when we did it, American Pie with that.
With Van Wilder?
With kicking off that kind of...
Well, so that's the more like gross out element of it.
Disgusting!
And so like Van Wilder does have some elements of the gross out part of it, like with the dog and the donuts and the whatever, but like it's not 100% in vain with that.
I'm talking about like the characters type though, because you're saying like the party animal guy in college.
Yeah.
Van Wilder, Beer Fest
with the
Beer Fest. It's
with
Beer
the
Fest,
guys
right?
from Super Troopers.
Yeah. Euro Trip. Even like Harold and Kumar, they're stoners who are just fresh out of college. It felt like every comedy from like 99 to 06, the characters were these college age, drunken stoner idiots.
Yeah. I mean, I don't associate this with that.
Okay.
I associate in specific, like where your lead character is this older college guy. Like in college, but clearly older and has been in college for, the better part of a decade, to steal a line from Tommy Boy.
Yeah, and just a shade under a decade too, all right.
That's what I associate this with. In this one, there's not really there's no stoner humor in this one. Right. It's not gross out humor. It's just a different, that's why I say like this one is the most milquetoast of his catalog, because Biodome is stoner humor. Encino Man, they're supposed to be in high school. I don't know how Pauly Shore is playing high school in 1991, 92, 91 when that came out. I don't know how he was playing a high school kid, but he was, with Sean Astin. I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit of a different, like, kind of turn from that type of humor.
I see your point. I associate them all as the same fucking stinking.
Hey, I mean that's.
I will say though, we talk about like Eddie Murphy, like different parts of his career. I would welcome if Pauly Shore decided he wanted to make 5 more movies like this.
I mean, I would probably see them. I would probably see them for sure. They will be stupid, but I would probably see them. I do want to ask this question.
Have you ever had a dream?
This movie was put out by Hollywood Pictures.
From Hollywood Pictures.
Which was a subsidiary of Disney. So this is a Disney movie. In fact, I think all of his movies are Disney movies because he signed a picture deal with them, where he was in there were all these vehicles and he was the lead in them. Pauly Shore has long hair, curly long hair. So I want to ask the question, is Pauly Shore a Disney princess? This is a Disney movie. He's pretty like a princess. Is Pauly Shore a Disney princess?
Sure.
Why not?
Well,
right?
that could be his next movie. It was an animated one.
There you go. Pauly Shore, you can write to us. We'd be happy to put together a script for you, maybe produce that.
I think he does do the voice of something.
I mean, wouldn't shock me. I think, a lot of actors, when they've kind of transitioned out of like leading roles, have done video games and animated and things like that.
I can't remember what it is. I feel like there's a voice that I know him.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see.
I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Do you remember those old Disney VHSs? Like Little Mermaid, Lion King, whatever it was. They all came in like this plastic. It wasn't like regular VHS cases.
My parents have a crate of them at their house, and my dad is keeping them because he's like, well, you can sell them for money. And I'm like, I don't think anybody's buying these. First off, nobody's...
They open like a book.
Yeah, we have all of them.
I can picture the sound and the texture. It reminds me of being like 4 years old.
They should have gotten Son-in-Law. Son-in-Law was in a sleeve. It was not in the Disney.
Yeah, it didn't go up to the book level.
Yeah, unfortunately. Last thing I want to say about this movie is, and this is again probably the nostalgia factor for me. I love this movie because one of the characters she's a kind of side character to the whole thing is Tiffany Amber Thiessen, and I had the biggest crush on her. I mean, as did pretty much everybody watching Saved by the Bell in the late 80s, early 90s. That was coming of age. Like, she was the it girl. And then I think she was on like Melrose Place or 90210 or something in the mid 90s, late 90s. and I don't know what happened to her after that point, but like, she was the it girl, and I think her being in this movie probably
That sweetens it for you.
sweetened the pot for me. Yeah.
So two beautiful women, her and Pauly Shore.
Her and Pauly Shore, yeah.
I got nothing else to say.
I got nothing else to say either. I wanted to throw in a Pauly Shore movie, and like
fine.
maybe for Remo at some point we can do Biodome, because I mean I wouldn't mind digging into that one as well. But I just needed to throw in a Pauly Shore movie because it's again something from my kind of adolescence that.
And I just don't get it. I don't get him at all.
And judging by the IMDb score,
Yeah.
I don't think most people got it.
5'2". Might be generous. Should be like a
That might
4'3".
be generous. I'm gonna say like 5'1". I'm gonna Price and Right rule you, but I think it's like 4.
5.8.
Oh my gosh!
People are fucking stupid. Or it's just like a nostalgia thing. It's
It
like
might be a
bunch of
nostalgia thing. It might be a
Gen
nostalgia thing. Yeah.
X.
Gen X.
Yeah.
100% Gen X. Yeah.